will make for one epic trailer.
Politicians come and go, the smell is in the air. Whether right or left, the wind may blow, there's one thing they all share. They're lying, they're lying. It's so easy that they're not even trying. They say whatever fits the mood, words fall in their lap. The news is just a snooze away, they're getting paid to nap. They might as well just tell the truth, 'cause no one gives a crap. They're lying, there's really no denying they're lying. There's no denying they're lying. Johnson told us to our face North Vietnam attacked, that our ship was sitting peacefully and only fired back. His lie cost 50,000 of our troops, and that's a fact. He got his way when Kennedy was whacked. He's lying, he's lying. He didn't care that thousands were dying. The country never wanted to be in another war. The papers fed us lies about what we were fighting for. We'll have to stop them now, or we'll have commies on our shore. He's lying, there's really no denying he's lying. Yeah, there's no denying he's lying. Bill Clinton lied while under oath, but never went to jail. And how we laughed when he said he never did inhale. All those witnesses and bodyguards didn't live to tell the tale. A great deceiver never leaves a trail. He's lying, he's lying. This one they caught while he's testifying. We watched with horror as he squirmed, his story lost its fizz. He made us smile when he asked what the meaning of is. He might have pulled it off if not for presidential jizz. He's lying, there's no denying he's lying. Yeah, there's no denying he's lying. Well, when W said Saddam Hussein had secrets to disclose, had bugs and bombs and boogeymen hidden in his clothes. He said it might be nuclear, but history still shows thousands died for causes no one knows. He's lying, he's lying. We went to war and now look who's crying. 200,000 innocents are lying in their grave. Now torture has been legalized, the flag has lost its wave. They justify the killing due to all the lives they save. He's lying, there's really no denying he's lying. There's really no denying he's lying. Well, well. Denies it. The population buys it. Obama swore an oath to God, our freedoms to defend. He must have had his fingers crossed, playing let's pretend. He took away our right to trial, could kill us all instead. The simple truth is the Bill of Rights is dead. He's lying, he's must change and there's no denying. He said he'd be transparent, make the government atone, then hires a bunch of communists to spy on us with drones. But everyone's so happy cause they got their own free phone. He's lying. There's no denying he's lying. Yeah. There's no denying he's lying. We're lying. Wow. We're lying. I said we're lying.
They're lying. That's something you don't hear every day, Chauncey. That's a song I wrote around 2014 for the film I was working on called The Conspiracy Project. You can see it on youtube.com/Neal Fox or rumble.com/Neal Fox. You should really watch the video. It brings out a whole lot more than just the song does. At the end of the video, we put on the screen, "Please forgive us if we didn't use your favorite lie." We put all the lies into a hat. A very large hat. Ever since I was a little tyke, I just knew politicians weren't exactly the bastions of truth and justice. But these days, they've raised lying to a new art form. Our esteemed president, Let's Go Brandon, is now saying in his State of the Union address that the Democrats want to fund the police, not defund the police. Geez, so what was all that about during the 2020 riots? I guess it wasn't Democrats calling for defunding the police. And then he tried to convince us that it was Russia's fault that gas prices are so high. Of course, gas prices went up as soon as he got to be president. His first action was to shut down the oil pipeline, and now we're no longer energy independent. And as I understand it, the U.S. actually has more gas and oil than any country in the world. Yet we can't use it. We have to import it from Russia, although now he's banning Russia imports, and he's going to the Middle Eastern tyrannical nations to buy oil from them. Great idea. Here's Buckle Down Jen Psaki trying to explain how it's all Russia's fault.
Thank you, Jen. It sounds like you guys are blaming Putin for the increase in gas prices recently, but weren't gas prices going up anyway because of post-pandemic supply chain issues?
Well, I think there's no question that, as we have seen, and outside analysts have conveyed this as well, the increase and the anticipated continued increase, which was, I think, what some of your colleagues were asking about, that is a direct result of the invasion of Ukraine, and also there was an anticipation of that was factored in as gas prices have gone up.
So you say that you're going to do everything that you can to reduce the impact that high gas prices have on Americans. We're asking other countries to think about maybe pumping more oil. Why not just do it here?
Well, to be very clear, federal policies are not limiting the supplies of oil and gas. Let me finish. Let me finish.
An executive order his
Peter,
first week that halted new oil and gas.
Let me give you the facts here, and I know that can be inconvenient, but I think they're important in this moment. To the contrary, we have been clear that in the short-term supply must keep up with the demand. We are, and here and around the world, will we make the shift to a secure, clean energy future. We are one of the largest producers with a strong domestic oil and gas industry. We have actually produced more oil. It is at record numbers, and we will continue to produce more oil. There are 9,000 approved drilling permits that are not being used. So the suggestion that we are not allowing companies to drill is inaccurate. The suggestion that that is what is hindering or preventing gas prices to come down is inaccurate.
Would President Biden ever undo his executive order that stopped the construction of the Keystone XL pipeline?
Are you suggesting that would solve the gas prices issue?
Well, do you think that that would maybe affect prices faster than getting the whole country off of fossil fuels?
I actually don't think it would. The Keystone was not an oil field. It's a pipeline. Yeah. Also, the oil is continuing to flow in just through other means. So it actually would have nothing to do with the current supply imbalance.
So gas prices are approaching an all-time high per gallon. How high would they have to get before President Biden would say, I'm going to set aside my ambitious climate goals and just increase domestic oil production, get the producers to drill more here, and we can address the fossil fuel future later?
Of course, that's what should be done. Only an idiot would turn off our existing energy supplies before we have anything to replace it. And this whole war in Ukraine is starting to look fishier and fishier by the minute. Russia has been claiming over and over again that the U.S. built bioweapons labs in Ukraine. And all of a sudden, it looks like they were right.
I only have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Actually, it's a classic criminal technique to blame the other guy for what you're already doing. One of the more humongous lies that are happening right now in the world is that we have to go to a centralized digital currency. This is, of course, for our protection.
Warren knows if we're going to preserve democracy in America, if we're going to fight Russia, then Elizabeth Warren is going to need fingertip control of your family's finances now and always. And by the way, don't try and hide anything from Elizabeth Warren, say in cryptocurrency, because if you do, Elizabeth Warren will know you are working for Vladimir Putin.
As I mentioned earlier, we're going after two things, trying to squeeze the Russian economy and also trying to squeeze those oligarchs, right? The problem is we're doing that only through the formal banking system. And we're doing a good job on that, and that is very effective. It's historic. I'm 100% behind it. But there's a hole in the dike here, and the hole is crypto. In other words, you got to pick it, crypto. If you want to continue to trade and provide the trading platforms and so on in the wallets, you can do business in Russia or you can do business in the United States, but you can't do business in both.
Here's an idea. Let's keep dumb people and crazed partisan demagogues away from our financial system and our power grid. They can keep the sociology department, have fun, but why don't you stay away from the fundamentals that keep the country running?
And here's another novel idea. How about before we start criticizing other countries, we get our own house in order? Get rid of the criminals. A little justice wouldn't hurt. This show is brought to you by one of my favorite musical artists, me. And that's not a biased statement. I just listened to my most recent album called Unhinged, and boy was I impressed. And now you can buy it, you can stream it, you can play it for your friends and family. Just hop over to my website, therealnealfox.com. That's N-E-A-L, not I-L. Pretty soon I won't have to be saying that anymore. I can't wait. And when you go to that website, what will you find? You will find everything about me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the music, the art, the entertainment. It's a hell of a good time for all. So pack a lunch and head on over. And meanwhile, you can follow me, subscribe to me, like me, dislike me, whatever you want. At youtube.com/Neal Fox, you can find my music videos. Also on Rumble, but I don't have them all up there quite yet. And what else can you do? You can share this. You can stream it. You can find it on all the best digital outlets. One of the biggest lies going around the last few years was one of critical race theory, which basically says that if you're white, you're a racist. Period. If you're black, you're a victim. Period. That's totally against what Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela taught, that you should judge people by the quality of their character instead of the color of their skin. And yet, amongst certain groups, mainly progressives, they put it into the school systems, and they're teaching kindergarten and first graders and all the way up into college that they are racists or they're victims, period. No matter what's in their hearts, somehow they can read minds, I guess. But one good thing that happened with the pandemic is that the parents started to find out what their kids were being taught, and that hit them where it hurts. So they got off their asses and started speaking out. School boards were insisting that they're not teaching CRT. Of course they were. But this particular thing really bothered me because everywhere you look, you could see examples of races getting along, intermarriages. In the 1950s, 80% of the people did not approve of mixed marriages. In the 1980s, 80% did approve. But these progressives didn't see any progress. And Barack Obama said, it's in our DNA, racism is. I didn't believe that one. I hope you didn't. But in case you have a little bit of doubt, I wrote a song about it, funny enough. And it's called The Good in Us, something that some people just can't see.
Terrifying news today. The lady said that I was full of hate. She said our history would die away. She said that we were never really great. And then she said I'd never be her brother, that we would have to pay for what we've done, that we could never learn to live together, and life would be much better when we're gone. Oh, won't you tell me what you see? Oh, are you a slave or are you free? We must open up our eyes long before we turn to dust, 'cause the blind will never see the good in us. Someone said it's in our DNA, embedded in us from the very start. He told us how he struggles to this day, and many thought he spoke right from the heart. Then once again the lie was resurrected. Then once again they showed us how to hate. And once again our souls became infected, and violence and fear would be our fate. Oh, won't you tell me what you see? Oh, are you a slave or are you free? We must open up our eyes long before we turn to dust, 'cause the blind will never see the good in us. Graduation, they teach them there are things not to discuss. Hypnotic and myopic education, and the blind will never see the good in us.
won't you tell me what you see? Oh, are you a slave or are you free? We must open up our eyes long before we turn to dust. It's not hard to see the good in all of us.
I urge you to go check out the video I did on this thing. It really makes the point, really hits home. You can see it at youtube.com/Neal Fox, or I believe at rumble.com/Neal Fox. Anyway, that wraps up another episode of Uncle Neal's Neighborhood, home for all things avuncular. If you enjoyed my podcast, please share it. Tell your friends. I'm being shadow banned by YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And the only way to get the word out is for you guys to share it. And you can also become a patron if you like what I'm doing and want to support this wonderful project. You can go over to patreon.com/Neal Fox. Everything is /Neal Fox. I feel like I'm being slashed. Anyway, if you're not feeling that great, go out and find somebody who needs a little help. Helping them is the best way to help yourself. Love you guys. See you next time.